it could be a little bit more inclusive rather than just one night of hockey's for everyone, and then just for the month of June, turning your logo on social media rainbow. Like, that's the bare minimum. And the fact that that is the minimum that's done, along with, if you look at the comments, like, people are like, oh, don't bring politics into hockey. It's not politics. There's so many LEM staff. And if they don't feel safe being in an environment they love, they're not going to truly enjoy it. So I'm Carmelo, 25 years old, but currently living in Columbia, Maryland, originally from Buffalo, New York. Go Bills. And I've been in the sports my entire life, whether it's playing soccer or running track or just rooting on hockey.
Are you a Sabres fan?
By hometown allegiance, yes.
So,
Currently, with the state of their team, hit or miss.
Okay, I was gonna say, did we find the Sabres fan, like the only one they have?
I mean, we're Sabres fans, but it's usually because they have beer at the games.
Fair, fair. Yeah, I would have to be rather intoxicated to watch them as well.
Yes, overpriced beers make it.
How did you get into hockey?
So my family's been Sabres fans for a while. We were really into the Sabres when we were actually good in like 07, 08. So when we had Drury, Briere, Finneganov, Miller, that was really like the height of how my parents got me into it. And then when I was a junior in undergrad, I actually had an opportunity to shadow the strength and conditioning coach for the Amerks. And just through that experience, it was just unreal. And I was able to get to know the guys, get to see the day-to-day operations and just how classy the guys were and just the atmosphere and all that kind of good stuff. It just kind of bolstered my love for the sport.
I'm still convinced you might have won a cup that 1 year if all the D didn't get hurt.
Yeah, we would have went, but injuries kind of screwed us.
That was a good team. That was a really good team. What do you love about hockey?
I just love the fast pace of it. The game rarely stops, and if it does, it picks right back up. It's the speed, the intensity, just the atmosphere is electric too. So combination of all that, and then just all the positive experiences I've had meeting some of the hockey players on the Sabres and other teams, just it's a sport that's unrivaled in terms of class.
How could hockey be better for you as a, for you as an individual, as a queer person, for the queer community?
So in general, to me, I guess just more accountability in terms of player safety. I know a lot of people have been watching the playoffs, and that horrible hit in the Jets game, the hit on Tavares, like stuff like that. Obviously, some of those are unpreventable just because of situation. Like the Tavares hit, completely not intentional, but the hit in the Jets game was a little bit distasteful, and that just the fact that it was only a 4-game suspension, like when it should have been more accountable. And even the Tom Wilson incident this past year against the Rangers, like there's no accountability. And just coming as a healthcare professional, like I would want to see more accountability in terms of safety. Like if you mess up and you like an unsafe play, there's got to be some type of repercussion.
Right.
In terms of being a gay man, I'd say just more inclusiveness, I feel like, because obviously there's folks like you, Curtis Gabriel, and other hockey players that are still they're huge allies, and that's amazing to see, especially in a very masculine dominated sport where it's, you don't mention that kind of thing. And even where like slurs are thrown out and they're not always caught by mics, like it could be a little bit more inclusive rather than just one night of hockey's for everyone, and then just for the month of June, turning your logo on social media rainbow. Like that's the bare minimum. And the fact that that is the minimum that's done, along with, if you look at the comments, like people are like, oh, don't bring politics into hockey. It's not politics. There's so many LEM staff, and if they don't feel safe being in an environment they love, they're not going to truly enjoy it.
Yeah, I think it's critical, that people realize that social issues aren't politics.
Yeah,
That human rights, social injustices aren't politics. They're just human beings wanting to live and be.
Be them. And if you look at it like Robbie Rogers, Colin Martin, like the MLS has been unrivaled in terms of openly out players that have been playing, and you rarely see that kind of behavior act up. And if it does, it's nipping the butt right away because they're active. But if you look at sports like football, baseball, hockey, I mean, not saying that a player has to come out, but that visibility in the sport would greatly help. Again, it's everyone's decision when they want to decide to show the world their true selves, but at the same time, that visibility would help progress their respective leagues in a positive direction, and it would help the fans feel more connected.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's just, the fear is the burden that will fall on them, right? And that the sport isn't a space where they feel like they can be, and that's sad, and it needs to be. What keeps you in hockey?
Honestly, it's like I said, it's an electric sport. It's addicting. You see the fast plays, you see the awesome goals, you see the camaraderie, you see a game get rowdy, everyone stands up for each other and stuff like that. And honestly, hockey is one of the few sports where it's still amazing to watch on TV, even though the real experience is live, 10 rows up from the ice, or even in the nosebleeds. That's what keeps me into it. It's just the sport keeps evolving, and the player talent is it just keeps getting better and better with each draft class.
Yeah, it is. The skill sets are getting better all the time. And what gives you hope for queer people in the sport?
The fact that we have allies like you, like Curtis Gabriel. I mean, Curtis Gabriel is an ally. Like the fact that we have an openly straight man who's not afraid to admit that he's an ally for queer people, for the LGBT community. The fact that we have him along with other players that I just can't name off the top of my head right now, advocate for equality, advocate saying, you know what, like I'm not afraid to wear pride tape, more than just on the Hockey's for Everyone night.
Mm-hmm.
Like Curtis rocking the hockey skates with the updated LGBT flag on it. Like that kind of visibility, it gives me hope, because these are men in a masculine dominated sport who are openly heterosexual, and they feel comfortable standing up for what's right. And that kind of visibility and support and allyship is just, it gives hope for the future.
I love that. That's really great. Carmelo, is there anything else you'd like to add?
I'm just grateful for this opportunity to, tell a bit about myself, see what I love about the sport, and have this discussion with you.
Well, I'm grateful for your visibility and your willingness to share your story, and that you're here and you're part of the hockey community. So thank you.
Thank you.